as you awake very suddenly, like with a jolt from this awful nightmare you've had, you found yourself in the guest room within Resh's manor. And you see currently Runarian and Resh appear to be in the middle of a spar. Or at least you kind of hope so, as the
I was about to
way
say.
the way the two are rather viciously going at one another is a little concerning at a first glance, especially in your rather drowsy and kind of fear-stricken mind after having been awoken by such a nightmare. You see Resh is dressed in his usual black leather and wielding a pair of scimitars, one in each hand. Runarian himself seems to have shed his heavy armor and is instead wearing an outfit made of like black cloth and leather with darker greens in it. And rather than the sword and shield you've been accustomed to seeing him with, he now holds in his two hands a halberd as the two are sparring. Arca, you had awoken a little while earlier than Taffy. Having seen your friend still asleep, you decided to leave the room to perhaps go find the rest of your party, feeling relaxed and rested now after a good night's sleep. You know, perfectly nightmare-free. It was pretty good. You know, the bed was like super comfy.
Oh man. Was it?
Yeah, you know.
Tell me in great detail how awesome your sleep was.
Slept like a baby.
And after leaving your room and descending the stairs, you would have probably heard very similar sounds the little while earlier you woke up from Taffy. And following after them, you would have run into Nia in one of the hallways, and as she runs into you, she looks a little nervous, and she's kind of wringing her hands together in front of her, and she looks up at you and she'll say, oh, good morning, Arca. If it's morning, I don't really know.
Yeah, I just assume whenever I wake up happens to be morning at this point.
It's morning whenever Arca says it's morning.
Yeah, that's fair. You should come see something. I'm a little worried.
Worried? What's up?
And she'll like grab a hold of like your hem of your shirt or something, or your wrist, and she'll kind of tug you along through a couple of the rooms, and she'll say, as you're walking, well, I heard like this metal sound, and you kind of like hear it a couple more times as you're walking, and I got worried that someone was like getting attacked or something, and I don't know, you'll see. And she kind of like pushes open the door just slightly to this larger room area, and you'll see that it is Resh and Runarian at this point exchanging blows with one another. And Nyalkish will quietly say, I don't know if they're sparring or trying to kill each other.
You look as a ghost itself came through the walls and held you in a chokehold. Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's...
do you wanna... She's gonna take a big sigh. Do you wanna talk about it? Like, what's going on?
You know... yeah, I might as well talk about it. I'll wait till breakfast so I don't have to say this again.
Okay, do you want to make, like, some coffee or something? Like, I can make you some coffee, you just sit down. You look like you're... Can cats be pale? Can cats pale?
Cats pale.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you know what I have that I just remember that I've had since the beginning of this campaign? The never-ending coffee flask. So
You sure do!
I sure do. I'm actually gonna do a U-turn from the kitchen and go, you know what? You need this a little more than I do. It's a coffee flask. Never ending, super hot coffee from the get-go. Here you go. You can borrow it.
Yeah, so you take a sip of this coffee, and it is so sweet, it hardly tastes like coffee anymore. With how much sugar and cream and milk is loaded into this drink. And yeah, it's like the perfect cup of coffee for you.
He's like, oh, I don't know who made this, but they were sent from the gods. And he just goes to town.
Stranger.
He's
Yeah, some stranger on the side of the road gave it to me, you know? I didn't trust it at first.
So the second he's like,
no,
so he goes to like.
Wait, I'm sorry. Really quick, Yabari, do you remember who you got that from?
Not actually.
No?
It's been so long, I truly do not remember.
You got it from Sturgis?
Oh no!
It was like one of the little. It was like one of the items he gave you guys for escorting him to Valgard. He gave you this thing of coffee.
Trader's coffee.
Traitor.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, never mind.
Yes.
you go to say something and then you're like, wait.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, Yubari is about to speak up and she goes, you know what, I'm gonna let him enjoy this one.
Yeah.
He needs a win at this point.
He needs a win.
He does.
He's just down in the hole. It's like the only time he stops is when he needs to take a breather. And he goes and he digs through his stuff. And then he comes bounding back. He's only gone for maybe like 2 combat rounds, right? and he's back downstairs, and he's got this vial with half a potion in it.
Oh no!
Oh no! Happy. What are you doing with that?
This is an energy potion.
You know what? Fuck it. Pour the energy drink in the flask. Let's see what happens.
No. Excellent. And so he's like, and he just slowly and very carefully just pours this energy drink into this flask of infinite coffee.
And yeah. God, roll a d20 for me.
Oh baby.
Just. So you take the potion and you go to pour it into this container of endless coffee. And the coffee is open, the stopper is off of it, allowing coffee to come out. But as soon as you pour it, as it gets to the opening of this coffee container, it's like it has hit an invisible cap on top of the bottle and spills off of the side.
And you see, he sprinkles a little there, and he sees it go off, and he stops. He's like, and you just see him, like the soul leaving his body as he just deflates.
Oh, it's so. Duvari pats and rubs Taffy's back, going, "It's okay, buddy. It's okay. We still have the coffee."
I thought it was a good idea.
The two continue exchanging blows, one hitting the other, and eventually you see as Resh dodges back away from a flurry of swipes from Runarian, suddenly his glaive is going low and catches him in the side of his knee.
Ooh.
Bringing Resh down onto the floor. And it's only at this point do the two finally stop, as Ari holds the bottom of his glaive, which is kind of formed into like the point of a spear, at Resh's chest. But the two fighters sort of stand there for a long moment looking at one another. And you see Resh, his scimitar still in his hand. He sort of gives a huff of breath as he'll set them very gently down at his sides. And Ari will withdraw his glaive to place it upon his back, and instead offers a hand out to Resh in a sort of, sportsman-like manner of helping him up off the floor. But Resh looks at him for a very long moment before just deciding to push himself up onto his feet by himself. And he'll put his scimitars back at his side as he says, you do notice he's not putting all of his weight on his recently injured leg. And then he says to Ari, you are more dexterous with that than I thought you would be. And Runarian kind of like puts his hand back down to his side that he had offered out. And he'll just say, well, I was quiet to learn a number of weapons in my time, so admittedly I haven't used this thing much, but I appreciate the time you've taken to spar with me. And Resh just kind of gives a small roll of his shoulders before he kind of wanders back over towards where the rest of you are, seeming a little surprised for a moment to notice it's not only Narshellus, as clearly he hadn't been paying attention, but he doesn't seem to mind the extra audience members.
Narshellus will speak up and just say, so when I tell the story to other people, there were 10 of them,
There were 10 of them.
You hear Ari very quickly try to hide a snort of amusement. And Resh just will give a huff of breath as he says, it's fine.
Is it?
It's probably not. You can tell his pride is wounded.
Oh no.
Well, if you're all ready to go, then we'll get going.
Oh, I'm ready to go. I'm born ready to go. Where did the coffee go again?
Daffy, we don't have time for this.
Time for what?
We'll close the opening in the city. People are gonna die.
Well, then let's go.
And here at the northern exit of the city, you see there's a bit of a crowd near the gates, as well as guards stationed there, seeming to be kind of warning people off from leaving the city, kind of telling them all it was rather dangerous and it wasn't really the greatest thing to leave right now. And as you all approach, with Resh at the head of the group, he presents the paper that Ballar had given him. And you guys are able to see, as he hands it over to the guard, they look very confused at first, as they're looking at whatever Resh has handed to them. But eventually just hands it back and just kind of gestures vaguely over their shoulder for you guys to get going. And as it's passed back to Resh, you all can kind of catch a glance that it appears to be a very quickly hand-scribbled note that says something along the lines of, House Wizard Ballar says it's fine that they can leave the city, and then a signature that looks like a bunch of squiggles at the very bottom. Along
Me too, man.
I like him.
Along with like the seal of House Durrett in wax, but that's about the nicest thing about this letter that was handed to Resh. Or come to a stop. And in front of you appears to be a colorless, featureless wall. But Resh will point out as he stops you all that this is the entrance to the Vault of Glittering Night. And as you peer at this featureless wall or try to get a closer look, you find that none of the light from the environment around you seems to reflect upon it at all, or even into the dark, inky blackness that sits just beyond the open doorway of this temple. Or, sorry, of this vault. I keep wanting to call it a temple. And, as you all have come before the vault, you realize very quickly you are not alone. As near the front of the vault wall stands a figure that at first causes Resh and probably the rest of you to grow hesitant and wary. But as you get closer, Resh seems to relax, yet also give a sigh. And coming close enough now, as you're able to examine both the wall of the vault and this figure, you see to some of you this figure is a familiar one. And before you stands a human woman, Aoife.
Oh.
So, Aoife, what might you be doing at the moment?
I think at this point Aoife is just sort of staring. Cause is she facing like the vault?
If you'd like her to be, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, she's facing the vault and she's kind of just like staring at it very perplexedly. Like this was maybe not the thing she envisioned would be out here amongst like all of this beautiful wildlife.
Okay, so you're turned around from the party, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of oblivious of their approach.
Yeah, it's got no thoughts in her head, just this vault.
And as the group approaches, Resh just gives his sigh. And he'll kind of be the first one who steps up and, like, very loudly clears his throat to get your attention.
And I thought I'm going to sort of, like, whip around incredibly fast. And my staff that was like once sort of like strapped to the back of me is now in my hands as I sort of turn and like go to swing out out into the air in front of me. But then I sort of stop mid swing and just sort of say, "Oh, so sorry. I'm terribly sorry." And sort of sit my staff back down. I wasn't expecting anyone else to be out here today.
Real quick, Chalice is just going to fight back and say, "How are you not dead?"
How am I not dead? Well, I mean, I haven't really run into anything that would kill me yet, but if I did, I think I would be able to handle myself.
Oh, you've run into something that wants to kill you.
So, Tavi's just
right.
like looking between you know, this woman, he has no idea who this is, and between Narcellis a couple times, and he's like, you guys know each other?
No.
Yeah.
You do.
It seems like you do.
Looks at Arca. Okay, it's you know, Morton. Who is this? Hi, by the way.
Hello.
It just awkwardly waves.
My name's Aoife. I ran into Resh and his brother yesterday at the market. But I think some of your faces are familiar. Valgard, I think.
Just leans over to Taffy and just whispers, "She said she works for the temple. That's why I said I don't like her."
Oh, and he kind of narrows his eyes and kind of looks at Ife over there, and just kind of is like, "Well, okay, it's good to meet you. My name is Taffy. Sorry, forgive my ignorance. Kind of don't quite. If we have met before, I don't quite remember. What are you doing down here? And I guess specifically right here."
Well, it's a really long story. I mean, I don't necessarily know if I have all the time to talk about it, seeing as you all appear to be on some sort of mission, was it? But I was just on a bit of a walk.
A walk through the nightmares. As a human.
Well, yes. I mean, a walk, but it was more of a... Well, I was hoping I would run into Resh, but... and I...
God, you're stalking my brother, that's so sad.
Resh seems to kind of hesitate at hearing that from you, Aoife. He'll just kind of stares at you for a very long moment. He'll say, "Why would you come out here looking for me? It's very dangerous out here, Aoife."
Well, you did all mention yesterday that you were looking for something, and well, you did say it was rather dangerous, and I figured you might need my help.
And you just happened to come where we need to be.
I'm rather perceptive.
Alright, so Taffy, so okay, here's what I want to do. Here's what I do. Taffy, oh no,
Just oh no.
The immediate oh no. Taffy would like to, okay, so he's gonna go. He's like, he puts his paw, one of his paws on like the hilt of his, like the sheath of his rapier. He's like, all right, listen, I'm gonna be blunt with you, and I need you to answer very carefully. Were you sent by the church to assassinate us? And I want to roll insight to see if I believe, and not that like you'd be lying or not, but just to roll it.
Okay, do I have to roll anything?
If you're trying to lie.
Go ahead and, as I say, go ahead and, what was your question, Taffy?
Oh, just were you sent by the church to assassinate us? Are you an assassin?
So go ahead and just give your response first, Aoife, before we do any rolls.
Okay, and Aoife's, my face will sort of like, a brow will like scrunch at that, as if it's very confused. It's a very confusing and odd question to suddenly be asked out of nowhere. No, I wasn't sent by the order to do anything. I actually left the order to come here.
Alright. So Taffy, go ahead and roll insight.
Okay.
And then for you, Aoife, if you're trying to deceive Taffy, you can roll deception.
Okay, no, don't even bother. So Taffy's like, he just stares daggers at you for a minute, and it just kind of wiggles his nose a little bit, sniffs the air. Okay. Yeah, I think she's cool.
Michelle's just gonna whirl around and look at Taffy. You're fucking kidding me!
What? Listen, I've met a lot of people in my career, and I'm not getting any murder vibes from her.
Did you get murder vibes from Cove?
You know, I was
originally
just gonna say that Marshall was the last church person we trusted. Yeah. Don't really need to say much about that, do we?
Well, they don't even work for the order. Listen, we can't dump every human we see into the same bucket.
Why?
Then we're no better than... Because then we're no better than Tove.
Okay. Me saying that I can't trust humans is not the same as me saying I want all humans to die in a fire.
We don't have to trust her, but we don't have to, like, be out for blood.
Speak for
Do
yourself.
you all like need a moment to talk? I can walk off a little bit if you want. Just
you can walk until we're no longer in view, if you'd like.
What exactly? And Marcellus will just step forward and get close to her and say, "What exactly is your interest in following my brother?"
Yeah, I don't really have a defense for that one. You're on your own for that.
Well, it's nothing bad. I don't really know anyone in Vhaeraun. They and the people I travelled with are sort of settling in now that they have sought asylum from the matron mother. So, I mean, I don't have any other intentions. If you want me to go, I can. But I just figured, maybe you would like some help.
I mean, we are going somewhere pretty dangerous.
So you want to bring something we don't know that works for the devil?
If it makes you feel better, Narcellus, I will stand behind her the entire time.
And if need be, will you stab her?
Well, I won't stab her, but I'll make sure she doesn't stab nobody
All right,
else.
No, that's it. No, you're walking in front of me. I'm getting behind her.
Well, I have met with her on multiple occasions back in Valgard, and she hasn't tried to kill me yet, so... Just as a little side note, at that moment, Aoife, you've seen this wood elf with the party, and he doesn't seem recognizable at first due to the armor he's wearing, and as you look at him, you kind of have to rack your memory for a bit, but even though you might not have spoken to this wood elf very often, you do recognize him as you are very familiar with who his father is. So yes, you do recognize this as Runarian Faldvin.
Hey, so Aoife is I'm sort of, my face sort of turns from like not really like it hasn't really been impassive like during this conversation, more of like trying to be like open and friendly to something, and my face suddenly shifts to something more akin to like sadness, like tinged with a little bit of sadness. And I say, you're Runarian Faldvin, aren't you?
And as soon as you ask, you see, at first, he seems intrigued or like curious. And you see like his shoulders kind of tense up a little as he, idly kind of folds his arms over his chest, and he'll just say, yes, that would be me. And he kind of looks at you for a long moment. I apologize. I don't think I recognize you.
Oh, no, it's all right. I don't think we've ever spoken before, though. I think I saw you around the temple in Valgard on occasion, but I'm terribly sorry about your father.
And Ari just looks at you for a long moment. Is sorry about what? That he's about to be king?
You don't know? I mean, none of you know what's happened?
Marcellus looks incredible.
Taffy's a little fluffered now. He's don't know about what.
Well, I didn't think I was going to be the messenger of this news. But General Faldvin, he's in prison. He's going to be put to death.
Oh.
Immediately, you see, like, Ari's back, like, straighten. And his face that had been kind of, like, very concealed, very, curious yet cautious. His eyes now suddenly widen. And he'll ask him, What? What's happened?
Well, I don't have all the information. I only really know what everyone else knows, but, Duke Gabroth, he's about to be crowned king, and, General Fall,
Hold on. Duke Gabroth, who was put under house arrest for... Do you... And Ari just looks very conflicted at the moment and can't, like, find his words.
Taffy has half of his face buried in one of his paws.
I don't understand.
Put that together.
I know Faldvin killed the queen. How was Gabroth? He wrote the letters.
I wish I had a better answer. I don't have more of an explanation, but once everything sort of started spiraling out of control in Valgard.
Wait,
I left.
What started spiraling?
Well, they started going after the fishing district, and all of the drow there. That's why I'm here.
Wait. And he's trying to, like, find his words, but he's very distressed, and kind of like Ari, he can't find a way to articulate.
After the Queen's death and, with the disappearance of the princess, things sort of spiraled into chaos, and the drow were obviously blamed for everything that had happened. They started moving in onto the fishing districts, and I did my best to try and get as many people who I could out of Valgard.
Why?
That's why. Why? I don't understand.
You're a human who works for the Order of the Seven. Why?
Well, I don't really work for the Order of the Seven anymore. Obviously, I'm here.
Okay, just start at the beginning and tell me what happened. Tell us what happened. Oh, we're in a church now.
We sure are.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you're not actually in church. This is just kind of as Aoife is recollecting
like,
her
didn't we
memories.
just die?
Yeah. No, this is just as Aoife is kind of recollecting her memories to tell you guys.
Yeah, we're getting the part of the episode where it flashes back to a part we.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Rio starts playing in the background somewhere.
And this flashback to Valgard. It's a dark and stormy night.
It's a dark and stormy night.
The princess has vanished.
The princess has vanished.
Mm-hmm.
Minister Yakan is doing Minister Yakan things. No. No, well, I mean, Princess vanished, and then it looked like for a while that General Perennial was going to take over control of the city, and then things sort of went sideways, and he was implicated in something. I think it was the Queen's matter. I'm not really 100% sure, but then Duke Broth moved into power. King Broth, I don't know what to call him anymore. There was awful things happening in the fishing district. We were getting pushed and shoved out of there, and I worked with some of the drow there to try and see if we could get everyone out and get everyone to a safe place. Obviously, we couldn't take everyone with us. Not everybody trusted me, but
And Rochelle will speak up. Did you the people who came in this family, were there a little boy and a little girl and their dad? He has one leg that's missing. His name is Faldvin.
and you see my face sort of fall at this. I shake my head as I say he wouldn't come with me. He didn't trust me, and he said he'd rather take his chances.
He's going to slightly walk away from you at this point, and he has one of his hands curled up into a fist just underneath his nose.
I'm so sorry. I wish I had better news to share with all of you. But I mean, I don't know what Valgard looks like now, but I can imagine it's not very good.
Ari looks rather stunned at the moment. And he kind of looks towards Narcellis as he wanders off before looking back to you, Aoife, and he'll say, so, but how? I just don't understand how Duke Broth is now taking over. Did they? I mean, I guess I'll admit it to you, Aoife. We are aware that my father killed the Queen, but at the time it was being put on the Duke. I mean, he very clearly had all this evidence we found in his manor that he was planning her murder with this group of assassins. Surely there should have still been charges against him for that.
Well, it all really started with Minister Yakan, and
Of course.
Asshole.
I'm terribly sorry, Brunarian. I'm sorry to all of you.
What happened with Minister Yakan?
So as Narcellis asks you about that, Aoife, you do recall that the reason why you had decided to, in a sense, turn your back on the Order to help the Drow and other people of the fishing district as the city was descending into chaos, as sort of things started for you. I'm trying to think of the timeline of events. I suppose it first started probably shortly after the Queen's death was announced. And from what you understood, from what was going on in the city, was that General Coraniel was essentially attempting to take over with the help of the military, seeing as how he was the person of power in charge of that. Many in the city assumed he was going to stage a sort of military coup to take the position of king for himself, rather than it going to one of the other noble houses or to one of the younger Yorzir kids, as Nyalkish had vanished, and the only ones left of that family were her two younger brothers, who are only currently 8 and 3 years old. But at that time, as that is happening within the city, while you were at Temple that day, you overheard a conversation in another room. A room that, Minister Yukon tended to kind of keep as his own when he came to visit Valgard. And curious, because you heard voices, you kind of had paused for a minute or two to listen, and you heard the voice of someone unfamiliar to you that he was speaking with. One was Minister Yukon, and one belonged to another man. And as you recall your memory, you recall Minister Yukon had said, well, unfortunately, Duke, the General does not seem to be playing his cards for the right reason. And you would hear the other male voice, the Duke, as Minister Yukon called him, will say, well, that's a shame, seeing as how my original plan failed. So what do you plan to do about it, Minister? Well, as I have come to understand through speaking with the General, apparently his true motivations had lied within protecting that little dark skin that's been running around his estate. Is that so, Minister? Indeed, and surely we cannot have a king upon the throne who seeks to sympathize with such dark shadows that cast such a horrible sight upon Valgard. I think we need someone more like yourself in charge, who is not so soft-hearted. It'll be easy enough to pardon your crimes, put them upon Kiraniel. I'm sure they'll all call for his death. And it was at that point, Aoife, you had kind of hurried away very quickly, as you felt a little shaken by this information, and you did not want to give yourself away by staying too long. So that's what you know. That's great. As the party is kind of asking you these questions, is that it appears General Coraniel, his motivations were not for power particularly, but to protect a certain someone.
I hate you. I fucking hate you so much.
I hate you so much.
I hate Starion so fucking much.
Wow.
That doesn't make any sense. Who was he trying to keep safe?
Well, they said some words about the drow that I really don't want to repeat. But
did they use the word Darkborn?
And I nod.
Marshall's eyes are just gonna lift and look directly at Ari.
Ari is looking back at you, kind of just looking a mixture of emotions. And you see Narcellus as you look at his face. He looks partially scared and also confused. And he'll just quietly say, "We can't let them kill him."
I don't care what the rest of you do, Paul, but once we get this barrier fixed, I'm going back to Valkyrie.
Well, yeah, we can't just let him die if he was...
He's shocked to hear that out of Taffy.
as is Ari.
You know what? Fuck him for what he did to us, but he did it for a good reason. I still want to get a punch out of him, though.
Marshall just looks at Resh, kind of half chocolate. Ari says, he looks kind of pained at Resh. He's like, "I know you're going to tell me that." You can't
This whole
stop.
time. Oh, say that one more time.
You can't stop.
This entire time, Resh has been rather silent as he's been just listening as the story is told about what had happened. And as soon as he hears that General Coraniel is trying to protect a drow, his eyes kind of shot directly to you, Narcellus. And as he hears you insisting you're going to go back to Valgard, he just sort of straightens his posture and gives a slight roll of his, crimson eyes. He'll say, I don't understand how this man can be so important to you.
Then if not for him, I'm going back for Faeron.
That gets Resh. In a way that you see the hardened lines of his face soften slightly. And he kind of looks away from you for a brief moment before looking back to you to say, "Fine. Let us get through this temple and be done with it."
Okay, what about Robert? You know he wouldn't have just stood there if they decided to attack the fishing district.
Yes, I know. I'll go with you.
Thank you.
Of course.
And Ari, you're coming, of course.
Of course I am. I mean, I agree what he did was awful, but he clearly did it for a good reason.
And this was not the supplies that we needed out here in the Nightlands.
And then he'll suddenly turn, or Ari will turn very sharply to Aoife, and he'll say, "Do you know when his execution is scheduled?" And Aoife, the only thing you'll know, I'll just kind of give you this answer out of character, is you've heard rumors that there is apparently going to be a very important event during the Duke's coronation, which is probably set for, it'd be a few weeks out, ish.
Well, there's been whispers of something happening at the Duke's coronation, but that's a few weeks from now, so, I mean, you're all wanting to travel back, you'll have enough time to get there before that happens.
And Marcellus will very suddenly just snap and whirl toward me. Apocrypha and Ari, and very angrily and frightenedly just say that we don't have any time to waste.
Ari gives a very firm nod.
Right, then then we need to go. Where's where we need to be? We came out here for a reason, right?
I'm looking for some bat wing. Resh, I don't know what's going on.
Resh will kind of motion to this rather flat and featureless wall before you guys, and it's a little odd in the environment of the caverns and such, where most of the walls, though smooth, are rounded or curved in places, you know, kind of broken apart here and there by the stalagmites or the glowing flora that's growing upon them. But this particular wall is just smooth rock. And the only thing odd about it is this mostly square, just patch of pure darkness that seems to just kind of be adhered to the wall. And Resh will just say, well, if we are to go back to Valgard, we are going to have to repair the barrier, so they will allow us exit into Gargour. The place we are searching for, the Vault of Glittering Night, should be here.
I don't know if you've noticed, but that is a big black wall. Yvari.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You die for me, right?
Depends on the situation.
It depends on the situation.
Seems like a very pointed question.
Okay, Arca.
You know,
Arca, would you
I
die?
almost died for you once, my guy.
I don't know if I die, but I'd put myself in a dangerous situation, I guess.
Okay, Arca, go poke the wall.
Go poke the wall.
Alright. And he walks up to the wall and places a hand on it.
Okay. You go up to the wall, and you go up to the much darker patch of it, and lift your hand to place against the wall. And rather than putting your hand on this flat surface, it instead vanishes into the darkness up to your wrist.
Oh. And,
Did you just lose a hand?
No, it's gone through. I think it's a passage of some sort.
Just to make sure, maybe you should put your head
in. He kind of first experimentally brings his hand back out and checks that it's intact.
Yeah, your hand is still intact. You still got your hand.
Okay, he walks on through.
So as far as all of you see, Arca just walks into the wall and vanishes. Alright. So we had left off. The party came through the Nightlands. And up to the Vault of Glittering Night, which at first just appeared like a flat wall of the cavern, but upon closer inspection, a patch of darkness seemed to be covering an entryway through the wall. And as you all walk through this darkness, at first you feel cold, not like you're going to get a chill or like you need to grab a jacket, but the temperature very noticeably drops. And for a brief moment as you walk through this darkness, your eyesight goes completely black, even those of you who have dark vision. And as you walk through, you get this feeling, this oppressive feeling, as if there's eyes upon you from the darkness. That, you know, someone is watching you somewhere in the distance. And as you're feeling like perhaps this is about to make you feel a little too on edge, like you might want to retreat back the way you came, your eyesight clears, and you find yourselves now in a very dimly lit room.
Uh-oh. Oh boy.
And as you all step into this room, this large entry chamber of this temple, it's lit very faintly thanks to blue torchlight in some of the braziers that's glowing very dimly, as well as these sort of speckles of light that dust the floor and all of the walls around you. And you descend down a wide and very worn set of stone stairs into this main hall. And the first thing that grabs your attention before you is what appears to be a very elaborate and decorative table, carved entirely out of black stone that matches the floor. And you see on every side of it and around every corner, or on every corner of this table, are carvings of dragon heads. All of them with dark eye sockets and horns and spikes that shoot out from their heads and cheeks. Many of them are worn down, and a few are cracked or missing pieces, but the table itself seems relatively intact. And upon the center of the table, you see there's a circular dais sitting there, and the only thing upon this table that you can see, just barely through the dim light, is what appears to be a sort of a cerulean-colored jar with a lid on top and a sort of spout that sticks off the side of it. The only other thing you notice about this room, other than how cool it is in here compared to the humidity of the cavern outside, is there's the smell in the air of molds and mildew, but also of something a little sour. And Arca and Narcellus, as you guys are the first to descend into this temple, looking off to your left as you step down onto the main floor, you see that there is the rotting carcass of some sort of beast kind of laying before what appears to be an old dry fountain.
Oh. Lovely.
Ari, you might want to get in here.
Vhaeraun just steps through, and immediately her face just scrunches up by the smell of everything. But she's like, "Oh God, it smells like something died down here."
Well, funny you should mention it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, there's a dead, I don't know what it is, but it's there.
There's a dead something.
Narcellus, can he go up to this?
Yeah, if you walk up, the table, like the main kind of square table, is probably only about, oh gosh, about how tall would it be? Probably about like a foot or a foot and a half tall, so you can step up onto it, albeit it is a very steep step. So you can reach the dais in the center, but But yeah, I mean, you can step up to it.
The jar in the center. Oh, the jar in the center. Can I gesture at it vaguely and look at Rash as if asking what the fuck?
And as you gesture to the object and look back to Resh, you see he's kind of examining the room around you guys. And he looks to what you're motioning to, and he'll kind of step a little forward and kind of addresses the rest of the party as he'll say, in order to proceed further into any temple of Vhaeraun, it is usually expected that those within take a small amount of drow poison.
Oh.
It won't kill you, but it might... It might hinder you if we run into any trouble in here.
You're sure it won't kill us?
Drow poison shouldn't. Children drink a small amount, especially that book resistance to.
So, Taffy just kind of sighs. He takes a big, deep breath. Oh, okay. Well, you know, maybe the coffee will work it through my system. Yeah, we just gotta go. And he kind of walks up. He's kind of, you know, he's puffed out his cheeks, and he kind of just juts one of his hands out, and he just kind of, he's like, all right, how do we do this?
And Resh will be the one who kind of steps up further, kind of onto the square table. And you'll see he reaches to this jar and retrieves off the top of it a red glass that you thought at first was kind of the topper for the lid, but is indeed just a glass. And he'll reach for the spigot on the side to turn it to open it. And the liquid that comes out is about as viscous as water, but it is a very deep red color, nearly black in the dim light of the temple. And he'll turn back to all of you, and he'll kind of step down to you, Taffy. And he holds out the glass, and he says, only take one sip.
Okay, one sip is it's like a unit of measurement, kind of like how all right, you know what, we got all right, and he's kind of like hyping himself up. He kind of like bounces from foot to foot. He's like, all right, if I pass out, somebody please cast a healing spell on me. And he looks at, he's got, you know, he's holding it in his hand, he's looking at it, and he inhales, he pinches his nose, and he just takes the tiniest little sip. As fast as he can.
All right,
I can't wait to fail this fortitude save. Oh, baby.
I would say, go ahead and make a constitution save for me.
Oh, yeah, it's a stat I got nothing in. Wee! Please be a 1. Oh, perfect. Even this close enough.
All right, so Taffy, as you take the small sip of the drow poison that is handed to you by Resh, the taste is very sour on your tongue. It's really not all that pleasant. And you are going to take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Oh.
And you also feel yourself, despite the high amounts of coffee that you ingested earlier, you feel your movements might be a little sluggish. And so for right now, you are poisoned.
Yay!
Oh my god!
Let me just, I think I can add that condition. All right, he's just gonna. So
I think it's.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's added already.
Oh, it is.
Oh, I
okay.
did. Yeah, I gave you a little skull.
Gotcha. Perfect. So he just. This is. He was like, you know, he kind of, licks his lips a little bit. Okay, well, it was a little. Oh! So he just kind of stumbles over to like use the the railing as support.
Oh no!
It's just he's like heaving. He's not like puking or anything. He's just heaving.
Oh,
You fluffy idiot!
Fluffy idiot. He's like rested. He's like one hand's on the railing, one hand's on his knees. He's hunched over. It's like, oh, yep, there it is. Oh, yep, yeah, I can feel it. All right, yeah, I'm not dead, so that's a good start. He's just over there, kind of dealing with that.
Does he?
You guys give this to children? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna ask. Does Taffy still have the glass, or does Resh still have it?
Oh, he would
No,
have probably
I
handed
think-
it back. Like after he
I
took
would
his
say, yeah,
little
Rex
sip.
probably like grabbed it back from him
He
real quick.
knows what's about to happen.
Oh god. All right. Aoife's making her way over. If I can move her token, which I might not be able to for whatever reason. But anyways, Aoife's making her way over, and she's gonna take a sip of that.
Okay, and then I'll say, I would like to say all of you are going to sip from this at some point.
Yep.
You are Arca.
Okay. So, yeah.
So we're
Arca.
Hmm?
Arca takes a sip as well. And I guess I roll Constitution saving throw, yeah?
Yeah, I was gonna kind of have you all do it at once here in a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm already like
Yeah.
Anyway. Hold on,
chill
where's
with it.
my constitution? Oh, yeah, okay.
Hey, Arca.
Oh.
What?
Okay, what?
Oh.
Can I roll the advantage for my amateur?
With your anima shard?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, that's a smart idea that none of us thought of.
No, I wanted to fail.
Sure.
Why are we not surprised?
It's fine. He's a drow.
He's a drow. See, there you go.
Mhm.
Who
Dang.
the hell got a 20? Probably
That was
not.
rash.
Dude's probably got immunity. This is stupid.
He's got me because he's stupid.
Oh, poison.
I mean, I think that is in drow lore that like they sit there and they just drink drow poison for years to like, get
Wow.
Build immunity.
All right, so all of you will take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Mm.
And then Yuvari, Arca, and Aoife, you all are also poisoned.
Nah.
Which means you, for the duration of your poison, you will have disadvantage on all ability checks and attack rolls.
Oh, God.
Love that.
But yeah, otherwise, Norcellis, you drink the poison, it's awful and sour, but you keep it down without feeling any other sort of problems. Resh is completely fine. He probably drinks drow poison for breakfast. Doesn't even flinch.
He just downs the whole thing. He just drinks the whole fountain worth, and he's just like,
I hate him so much.
And Ari as well, when he drinks it, makes a face, and kind of shivers a little, but he seems fine.
He would.
He would be, yeah. But yeah, so now, as you all have taken your drinks of drow poison, Resh will return the glass back to where it was on the dais. And at this point now, you all are welcome to explore the room. To kind of give you a better idea of the room, as you all might kind of begin to wander off as you try to, push your way through the effects of this drow poison you've ingested. You see, other than the way you came, there are 3 other entrances in this room. There's one directly ahead of you at the other side of the table, and then one to the left and right. They are, large archways decorated in carvings of all manner of Underdark beings, most of them with wings. And all of them are currently closed by solid stone walls that you can only assume might be doors.
All right. Who wants to go forward? Who wants to go left, right? Shall we take a vote?
Way to go right.
We'll go wherever you guys are going. I'll be right behind you.
Oh my god, this guy.
I think I'll stick with Taffy. Wherever you guys to go.
Alright, I'm gonna vote forward. Ari? Aoife?
I'll stick with you, no shells.
Forward sounds pretty good to me.
And the forward is this way.
Yes. Alright, so that means we'll have Taffy, Arca, and Yavari going to the right, which would be down on the Roll20 map. And the rest of you shall be going forward. Fun stuff. Actually, Resh kind of looks at Nershellus and looks at the rest of the party members, and he'll quietly say, should I... The rest of them aren't really looking that great. I don't know if I should go with them.
As Taffy wobbles.
Javari's coughing, trying to hide how much the poison is affecting her.
Yeah, Nershellus is going to say, maybe we shouldn't split up.
He nods at that. He'll kind of look at the rest of them and say, well, how about we go forward first, and we can go the other way.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea too. You know what? Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it that way.
Yep, probably for the best. I'm fine though. I'm great.
Sure.
Alright, so yeah, with that then you all will make your way around the large stone table and up to the stone wall here at the opposite end of the room. And as you approach it, there's no clear kind of indent in it or anything to press or switch that might open it. However, as you all approach, as Resh goes to kind of lift his hand towards it, you feel the ground begin to rumble and vibrate under your feet. And you see this stone door beginning to shake slightly as it then begins to sink into the ground.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which will open the way for you all into the next room.
Okay, that's
Ari nods his head. This is quite cool, yes.
You know, I always wondered how they rigged up doors to last this long and operate it. Oh, Well, it's you know,
Maybe we'll worry about doors later.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah. Doors later.
Yeah.
He just takes a minute, like he's like running his hand against the wall, you know, taking deep breaths every now and again.
You look awful.
Yeah, it turns out I'm not super agreeable with poison. Just gonna throw that out there.
Enough. So, you all, once the door settles fully into the room, leaving your way open, you come into the next room, which is arguably darker than the last, yet somehow brighter in certain areas. As you enter, you find that there's like half collapsed arched ceilings and rubble from the years of wear and tear has laid across the ground, along with broken pillars and statues that line the sides to your left and right. You see that there are the giant statues all appear to be of the same person, which is a man standing there, drow in his facial features and from the pointed ears on the sides of his head, sitting with his arms kind of folded in front of him, or standing, not sitting. And every statue is of him, as well as a mask that covers the top half of his face. And you'll see each one is kind of in separate stages of disrepair and weathered down. Some are missing their arms. You see one is missing half of his face. They all appeared to be holding strips of cloth that you can only assume at one point must have been banners of some kind. But over the years that this temple has been in disuse, they have worn away after being sitting here so long just at the mercy of the elements. Well, we've already come in here with non-drow, but perhaps it is best we do not anger Vhaeraun any further.
Oh, okay. So no more lighting braziers. I mean, I could go drink the poison again if we really need to.
Do not worry about it, Taffy. And,
okay.
As you all are standing here now, you see, being a little closer now to the altar here at the front of the room, you see that sitting upon it appear to be a myriad of items. The first of them being what looks to be a carved statue of a bat, made of like black stone that's laying upon the altar. The center of it holds a blue cloth that's ragged and worn at the edges, with a book currently sitting open. And further to the side of that, you see an old mask of an off-white color. It's just sitting there beside it. You've already out of the way. Resh kind of approaches the altar to peer over everything curiously. Meanwhile, Ari shall look back at the party and ask, so, should we go back in another room to try somewhere else? I mean, it doesn't seem there's much left in here.
We could. What's up the stairs? Did anyone get a good look?
Looks like a door.
Oh. Should we
By all
investigate?
means, you're welcome to go and look, Taffy.
He kind of looks back. He's like, oh, okay, all right. I'll be careful this time. As he
Please do.
carefully You know, this time he's actually going to stealth.
Yeah, he's gonna be sneaky.
He's gonna be sneaky. He's gonna pull up his little face covering and pull over his hood. Kind of crouch down a little bit. Where the hell is my stealth? There it is. Stealth, and I don't have to worry about disadvantage anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
26. So you kind of cling yourself to like the base of the statues. You walk around it and slide up along the stairs, along the railing, trying to stick to what shadows still remain in the room. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Anna? Oh, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Sure.
But yes, you make your way up the stairs, and at the top of the stairs here, you see that there's a couple of braziers lit with that very soft, very cool blue teal flames. You see two statues stand here between what appears to be a door. The statues are not of the same masked figure, but they are still figures wearing masks, holding what appear to be like maces in their hands. And you see each of these statues are covered in purple crystals, much like the body found in the center of the room. And here you see there's a bit of a stone platform that leads up to a door that is currently sealed shut.
Okay. So we're gonna carefully we're gonna get right here, and then I'm going to very carefully look over the door. Specifically, I'm going to look for along the walls for opening mechanisms, locking mechanisms, slots for odd-shaped objects like, I don't know, puzzle pieces, or, you know, things that like may look like you know, it's designed as a receptacle. Basically, you know, anything mechanical in nature, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so you go ahead and roll a investigation for me.
Oh, baby. Investigation. In 14.
Nice. So you take a look around the door, and as you do, you know, you kind of try to like feel along the walls and along the door itself, but everything is just carved, smooth stone. Things you do notice, however, is right at the base of the door, there's these two sort of circular rocks on the floor. You try to push them, but they don't move. And you see one side has two glass jars, and in the dim light, you can see they're filled with some sort of liquid that appears a very deep crimson color. And to the right of it, you see there is a scroll laying next to another jar that currently sits empty.
Oh boy. All right. Is the scroll open at all?
No, it is rolled up shut.
Okay. He's going to take out his thieves' tools. And he's going to very carefully, without trying, he doesn't want to remove the scroll from the pedestal in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't, all right, I guess I should ask, does my roll allow me to know if it's trapped or weighted or any of that sort of thing?
Yeah, your investigation check,
if I had to make
looking
a new check.
over everything. Yeah, no, you're good. I'm looking over it all. You can't see like any signs of it being a trap or like a pressure plate. It does seem to just be carved into the stone floor.
Okay. So then, okay, all right. If it's not trapped, then he's gonna carefully take the scroll. Like, he's gonna very carefully take the scroll. and then see if he can't unwind it and read. You know, assuming it's in a language he can read.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay. Well, while you do that, Resh is going to kind of look back over the party as Taffy goes to investigate the door, and he'll look over at Nurse Shellis and he'll say, believe we're going to have to do something to get this door open.
Probably. It's all that on the table.
The book is open to what appears to be a strange passage of sorts written in deep drow.
Can Rochelle try to read it?
Yeah. Yeah, you can absolutely read it. You know, as you step up to the altar and look at the open book, though the writing is faded, you are able to still decipher it. And I will send you what that is so you may read that aloud for us. If he wants to.
It says, come the blade, come the hour, come the blood, come the power. Those who cower within the darkness of the Spider Queen's web must give up that which fills their veins with devotion, fear, and dread.
Oh, I don't like where this is implying.
Oh. So he wants a blood sacrifice.
Specifically, those who cower within the darkness of the Spider Queen's web. Very, very slowly look across everybody.
Resh seems...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna say Resh seems kind of thoughtful about that, and he'll say, yeah, it certainly does imply some sort of blood sacrifice, perhaps, of a Lulthite worshipper.
Let's look at this in terms of the stances. So clearly, it involves a blade. Come the blade, come the hour. Blood, power, some sort of power that you gained. Something. As you said, a Lulthite worshipper must give up that which fills their veins with devotion, fear, and dread. I'll just sort of look up at the remaining party members.
Puzzle.
So,
Any thoughts, Arca or Aoife?
Thinking. I mean, blood seems like an obvious answer, but it has to be something more than just blood. Devotion, fear, and dread.
I suppose in some kind of reverent way?
Yes. Taffy.
What?
Turn and look up the stairs.
So then,
Can I get your opinion on this little?
So with the scroll still in hand, he will make his way, you know, just kind of pop on back down the stairs. He takes off he pulls down his face mask over here. And he's like, sure, sir. And by the way, here's I found this up there. There's some jars of something red inside of them, and then there's this scroll on the other pedestal. with another jar.
I think Vhaeraunians tend to make poison reverence to Vhaeraun.
Huh. And, you know, with the poison theme... fills their veins with, so, you know, he's thinking about fills,
Oh, what? Must give up that which fills their veins with devotion, fear, and dread.
You think it's some kind of, like, mental trial or something? Like, you drink some kind of, I don't know, liquid and it sends you into
giving up.
Probably, let's see, devotion, what you're most devoted to, whatever you fear the most, and whatever you dread the most, or something along those lines.
Well, I mean, devotion, fear, and dread, I think, just goes back to both.
So,
Yeah.
you have to give up both?
Somehow I don't think conversion is what Vhaeraun had in
No,
mind.
no, I don't think that's what that is. But
Conversion.
Ari, do you have any thoughts?
Ari's been kind of just standing there quietly, his, hands on his hips, and as everyone kind of discusses it, he says, well, I feel like at first the answer seems like it might be blood, but what if it's... This might be a weird reach, but what if it's like someone's heart?
That does fill veins with blood, yeah. And devotion, fear, and there are emotions. So the heart of a wolf,
And then Taffy kind of looks over at the corpse on the floor.
Oh.
Well, we only have one wolf-light worshiper around us, and I'm not sacrificing him, so.
Well, what about that dead thing in the entryway? Do you think it might still have its heart?
It's petrified. I sincerely doubt it.
Oh, well, I mean, did it say have to, be a recent heart, right?
It does say, come the blade, come the hour, so I'm assuming we have to do it.
Well...
I mean, sacrifices do tend to have to be fresh.
Dang fresh sacrifices. I really don't feel comfortable sacrificing somebody. I don't know, maybe...
Well, this is a temple. I'm sure some of the back rooms might have something.
Oh yeah, jarred hearts.
Well, temples do tend to have storage rooms, right?
Yes, usually. I mean, that's where you'd keep, like different sort of implements. So maybe there's a heart lying around, or a person. Not that I want to do the murder thing or the sacrifice thing, but
look, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to do this, but a lot of people's lives are on the line, and now that includes Ari's father, so maybe you get your asses in gear and realize that you might have to kill someone. Okay?
Alright, let's check that other side room.
He's just so annoying.
Well, Ari will just say, well, let's hurry. We'll go check the other one that everyone else pointed out. He'll kind of be the first to kind of start heading back for the door.
Yep.
Marshall's going to wait for Taffy to go before he'll follow behind.
Yeah, Taffy will head out. He does leave the scroll with Narcellus.
No, we'll keep it. And he'll sort of follow behind everybody at the back, just very much looking at everybody in like this "you've got to be fucking kidding me" kind of way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so we're all going to the room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm just gonna yoink all of you way over here.
Whoosh.
Oh. I lost Norcellis. It's fine.
Else is not a part of the yoink.
Yeah, for real.
Damn.
Okay, that's fine. We're just putting you all in a vague group shape here. So you all come back into the large main room where the carved stone table laid that you had drank the drow poison from. And you now head over to the door that some of you had said before that you kind of wanted to go check out. And again, as you approach, as soon as one of you gets close enough, the ground again begins to tremble, the door shakes, and then begins to slowly fall and sink down into the ground. And before you opens a new room. Need a second to reveal this whole thing. There we go. And this new room that has opened before you appears to be a more casual sort of sitting area for those who might have used this temple at one point. You see there's a few carpets scattered on the ground made of like what would have once been very pretty purple and blue colors, but now they're old and dirty and covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. It's much the same for a few of the sofas and chairs that you see laying about the walls of the room, where everything seems to have been eaten away by age and weather. But yeah, and Ari will kind of venture into the room first, and there is immediately to your left inside the room another doorway leading to another room further in the temple.
So, a couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
Are these like, is this furniture?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly furniture? Okay.
Yeah, so like you got like a little table here. There's like some, lounge sofas. You got like some chairs sitting around. Yeah.
Okay. Nothing that looks like, do they have any like, I guess it wouldn't really matter too much. Like, so this is, yeah, okay. It's probably a lounging area. As opposed to, are there any cups or bowls or anything like that that may still have not been, like, overturned or anything like that? Any sign of recent activity?
At a glance, not that you see. You see there are a couple of what appear to be broken plates on the floor, and on the table, as you get a little closer, there's a couple of very old, like, mugs that had once seen use, but now they all seem to also be covered in dust and cobwebs, alongside the remains of a shattered vase as well.
Okay. It's like, it looks clear in here. I guess we should, come on guys, let's move to the next room. I don't think that we're gonna get anything out of this one.
Ari will nod in agreement, say, that sounds good to me.
Is this a table or a rug?
The rectangle there is a rug.
Okay. I just want to make sure before I stood on top of it.
Yeah, you're good.
Climbs on table.
Climbs on table.
Yeah, for real. And so you all come into the room. Just throwing y'all in here. And you approach the second door within the room to open it. And as it begins to slide down, much in the same fashion as the others, as soon as it does, you begin to hear a hissing noise from the other side.
Taffy immediately freaks out.
Close the door! Close the door!
Snake!
We're not gonna go there.
It's here!
Oh, no.
It's come from my dreams! It's here!
Oh no!
Taffy.
But you hear this
Backs
like
into the
weird
table.
hissing and like slithering noise as the door opens, and you see a storage room within, filled now with odd little slug-like creatures and a very large spider looming at the other end of the room. And they all look immediately at you guys as soon as the door opens. But that is going to be where we leave off tonight's session.
Taffy's immediately relieved that it's not snakes.
Not the spider.
Yeah, spider, little spooter.
Aoife has probably seen so many spiders in the past 24 hours.
Literally so many
Yeah.
spiders. So many spiders.
The Underdark is made of spiders.
It
Oh,
really
wait.
is.
She's like, this one's
Yeah.
just a little bigger.
Taffy's gonna have one more idea.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He's like, wait, spiders. They were like drow, right? Specifically the ones that followed.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, Narcellus, but I think we found our heart.
Oh.
Okay. That's not how that works.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Hearts.
I don't know.
I don't think the spider worships Lolth.
Well, we maybe.
It did. If it was a drow, then it...
Once upon a time, maybe it did.
That's not how it works.
I feel like this is a pretty solid plan.
Just throw the spider corpse at the. Just like, here you go.
Just taking the heart out.
You just tape the whole thing, why don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Can we like use what spell did we use to turn Taffy into a spider?
Oh God.
Can we just use that to turn the spider into a drow?
No.
If only it worked that way.
We're just gonna shortcut this puzzle. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, for real.